Welcome to day 2 of the Concacaf Women's Under-17 Championships here in Nicaragua, with the focus falling today on Group B and 2 of the hot favourites to make it all the way to the World Cup finals in Uruguay in November. First up, Canada, champions in 2010, versus Bermuda, so proud to have reached this stage of the competition for the very first time in their history. Bermuda, one of 27 entries from the 41 member nations of Concacaf. Canada, by the way, qualified automatically. It's warm, as you can see, but we've had a little bit of a breeze today, which might help or it might not help the conditions out on the synthetic surface that we have here in the capital of Nicaragua, Managua. This indeed is the home of the Managua Football Club. So Group B, comprising Canada and United States of America, who will be playing here later this evening against Costa Rica. What a matchup that is on the second day of the tournament. But what a big day in the history of Bermudan football. They qualified in second place from the Caribbean zone and now come up here against Canada, who've played in every single edition of this championship since it was first run back in 2008. Team news for you very shortly, as the crowd here awaits the 2 flags, and indeed those 2 flags are just being paraded now as they've come out of the tunnel in the hands of the very capable youngsters here. One holding the maple leaf and the other the very colourful flag of Bermuda. A sprinkling of family members and relatives coming here to support the 2 nations in this game. There'll probably be a few more here later when United States of America, the big draw, take their place in the championships for the first time. Well, the public address system is just asking everybody now to salute the arrival of the officials and the teams who are poised and in the tunnel and will emerge along with the fanfare, which I'm sure you can now hear in the background here in Managua, in the Denis Martinez National Stadium of Nicaragua. Flags and the match ball, so synonymous with every FIFA competition. This is the Campeonato Femenino Sub-17, and our referee for the first game today from El Salvador, 30-year-old Sandra Benitez. Canada will be in all white today, Bermuda in all red, and what a proud moment it is for that tiny country, tiny in terms of footballing tradition, but determined to put on a show today against their illustrious opponents.
Les pedimos permanecer de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Canadá, seguido por el himno nacional de Bermuda.
The Canadian anthem is the first to be respected. That's where the sport came from in the large stand here in the stadium in Managua. We will remain standing for the anthem of Bermuda. Bermuda very much part of the Commonwealth, hence God Save the Queen, the national anthem of England. So now the players will shake hands with one another. I'm sure they're nervous. They just want to get the game underway. And we're all nervous for them as well, hoping that they can perform to the best of their abilities. A reminder, Canada in all white today. Well, their nickname is Le Rouge. Let's have a look at the way Canada will line up. Their coach, Beverly Priests, is taking this opportunity to blood a number of younger players. Indeed, 4 debutants, including goalkeeper Anna Kapenko. Also summoned for the first time, centre-back Jade Rose and strikers Anderson Williams and Kayla Novak. Top marksman, though, is Jordan Heitemer, who figured in the Under-17 World Cup finals in Jordan just 2 years ago. The referee for this one, 30 years of age, Sandra Benitez from El Salvador, flanked by fellow El Salvadorian Emperatriz Ayala and Nereda Diaz from Cuba. The 4th official comes from Mexico, and she is Lucila Venegas. Just waiting for the 2 captains. The captain of Canada just going over there now, just arriving because she didn't have the pennant in her possession. Is Heitemer, their top goal scorer, 16 years of age. Actually scored in that Under-17 World Cup in Jordan against Cameroon. And the captain today for Bermuda is Danny Watson, a 15-year-old from the Santos club. So it's a bit breezy here today, far more than yesterday. Sultry sort of a heat. I, for one, am not complaining. And nor will the Bermudan players either. This is their lineup. The goalkeeper is Zachary Turner, 15 years of age, plays actually in Orlando in the United States of America. And in Leilani Nesbeth, they have a quality front player, but she'll expect support from Nia Christopher and Adia Gibbons, who both scored in the qualifying competition. Coach Kimberly Bean. Now, a few roars of encouragement echoing around the stadium. Here in Managua, it's a 15,000 capacity stadium. And every single game in this 16-match competition takes place here, right through to the final. We're here for the remainder of the month of April. I'm delighted to be here as well. The list of substitutes there, Sophie Guimet is the reserve goalkeeper. Ariel Young, number 6, already has 1 full international cap. And maybe the pick-out name on the Bermudan bench would be that of Caitlin Medeiros. She was only born in the year 2005. Quite extraordinary, the youngest player here at 13. So we're just about ready for the kickoff. It's Canada versus Bermuda in Group B. We saw plenty of goals yesterday, 13 in all. 8 for Mexico, by the way, and 4 for Haiti. 1 for Puerto Rico, none, sadly, for Nicaragua. But let's hope we get a feast of goals again today from our 2 matches. We're just about ready for this one now. I do assure you we'll be away any moment now. And there you have it. It is Heitemer who plays the ball back initially to Alia Scott. And Canada will be looking to do what Mexico did yesterday and rack up a stack of goals against what ostensibly would appear to be the weakest team in the group that they start in. The ball is played to the right side to Jade Riviere. He was a very, very useful player for the Canadians. She can play anyway. She scores goals, and here she is now in an attacking position and getting the first free kick of the match awarded by Sandra Benitez. No early alarms, we would hope, for Bermuda, but they do concede this free kick. It was Trinae Edwards from Cedar Bridge, winning her 9th cap today, who did concede it. And the Canadians are not going to throw everybody up just yet in this first minute of the contest. But the free kick will be taken by Riviere, one of many Vancouver Whitecaps players in the Canadian lineup today. There's virtually a full team here from Vancouver, that most beautiful of cities. A long wait for the referee's whistle. There's a 4-player wall in the line, but I'm pretty sure that Riviere will be able to avoid them. Curl it away from goalkeeper Turner, hopefully. From her perspective, that's exactly what she does do. And here is the first chance of the game, and it was a header. And the header came in from Julianne Valeran. There she is, Valeron from Varennes. Interesting to read the biographies of some of these Canadian girls, and many of them actually went to watch the Women's World Cup final matches in Canada just a couple of years ago, and they'll all be hoping that one day they will play in a World Cup. Here is Beverly Priests. She's English, makes me feel at home, 31 years of age. She's been in charge of this team since 2013, but previously worked both in England and New Zealand with John Herdman, a well-respected coach. Canada working the ball now through Williams. Then Heitema. Already looking ominous here. It could be the first opening. It's just flown just beyond the far upright. But another warning here for Bermuda. And what again? It was Valeron who's appearing to want to get into great attacking positions in this game in the very early stages. Accepting the ball that was played to her by Caitlin Shaw. Nodded on, in fact, by Novak. So it was a good position. She just leant back a bit and scuffed it inches over that bar. Bermuda, I don't think, have as yet been in the Canadian half. It's probably what they expected. Novak. Can't get on the outside of the defender, Eben. And the Bermuda coach knows that there's a lot of hard work to do today. Kimberly Bean. And here's another effort and a fine first save and a fine second save as well, made by Zachary Turner. Just to make sure that Heitema's not on the score sheet early. Well played, the goalkeeper. Canada obviously come steeled for this contest. They want to make a good start here. It can be difficult when you're up against a team that's going to concentrate not solely on defence, but certainly for as much as they have to do. And that is what Bermuda would expect, and they'll do so again here with Riviere involved much at the moment. Some nice touches on the ball there from Williams. Canada's throw-in. Aaron Denkins is the name of the senior coach for Bermuda. The throw-in is long towards Heitema. Expecting shots to come in here as Canada try to wrest the position for a shot from any sort of distance, but this will trickle harmlessly through. And eagerly grabbed by Turner, the goalkeeper, who plays for the Monteverde club in Orlando. So she's used to some warm days, but unfortunately doesn't have a long kick, and therefore it's Canada coming yet again with Heitema. Tries to just tickle the ball on, as a return pass was the best option. Couldn't do so. But now at last Bermuda do have it and are going forward. Not for very long. I think they had possession for about 1.5 seconds there. Canada 0, Bermuda 0, and we've had 5.5 minutes of play in Managua. 3 teams go to the finals in Uruguay in the November of this year. The winners, the runners-up, and the one that takes 3rd place in this championship. That is going to be a tense affair, the 3rd place game, on the very final day of competition here. Once again, it's all about Canada's attack and Bermuda's defence. Almost too many cooks here. Plenty of white shirts around, but Fatima almost running out of options. She keeps digging in and the ball will break to Riviere again. It's one of those days where Canada would expect to have several names on the score sheet. The thing is to play as a team, though. Doesn't matter who gets the glory, and this might be the first. It's headed just over, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. The flag is raised on this side by Emperatriz Ayala from El Salvador. Correct call as well. There, that was the moment the ball was delivered, and that, of course, under the laws of the game, is what counts. It's the moment that the ball is passed that the position is taken into account. Noticeable that Juliana Valeron has got into good attacking positions several times already. Canada winning a lot of 50-50 balls right now. A first chance here for Bermuda's Nia Christopher to get involved, and they have moved into the Canadian half. Not for very long, though. Slightly more pedestrian build-up through, at the moment, through Sonia Walk, who's playing centre midfield today. Allowing Jade Rose the opportunity to play at centre-back. 3 offside, wouldn't count again. The concentration levels of the referee's assistants have to be so high. But she's had 2 verdicts to make, and twice she's got the flag up at the precise moment. And Bermuda have managed to get through another minute, almost 8 now, without a concession. That will please them. But you would feel it's just a matter of time before Canada do achieve a breakthrough. With Haitema, the latest one, knocking the ball in. It's a fraction too far, I fancy, here. And it is out for a goal kick. Unfortunately, Alia Scott just couldn't keep the ball in play. You get the feeling that they're getting closer. Now, the referee is coming just to have a word with the goalkeeper. She's just checking that the ball's okay. It's actually on the white line. Nothing wrong with that. There was the youthful coach, Bev Priestman. Once again, all the pressure applied by Canada, and it was Haitema who shielded the ball, turned her body into it, just to confuse the opposition and to win the possession. Already back with the Canadians. 4 forward in the 18-yard area. Will she need anybody? Here comes the ball across, and we will have a Canadian corner. First of the afternoon. Riviere is the taker of set pieces. So she's trotted over to that far corner, away from our commentary position here. And the stands in Managua. And she'll try and float this one across for a real bevy of Canadians. There are 4 in a line here, all marked, but with a slight height advantage maybe. And there is one player, Scott, right on the goal line. Anything could happen. Can Canada get the lead from this corner kick? Well, no, because it was delivered much too long. So whatever they worked on in training there just didn't come off. Well dispossessed, as is Haitema, though. And now that's the furthest the ball has been played downfield, and it was just hacked anywhere by Leilana Nesbeth. And here comes the next Canadian attack. They must be monopolising possession to the extent of about 80% to 20. But it is Bermuda attacking nicely here. And it is played back initially to Edwards from Nesbeth. And now back to the more familiar scenario. Canada on the front foot. Canada's biggest ever triumph in this competition was by 11-0 against Trinidad and Tobago 5 years ago. I suppose the object of the exercise primarily today is to get the first 3 points The number of goals are almost immaterial. But they'd hoped to make some sort of a statement with the scoreline. Jade Rhodes played it forward. A good opportunity for her to make a debut here. She's on the ball now, the number 19. Quite a composed figure. Playing alongside the more experienced Maya Antoine, who has 13 caps, including today's. Another of the Vancouver Whitecaps contingent. And the afternoon just becoming a little cooler now. And there's a goalkeeper who is already hobbling. That's a disconcerting sight for the goalkeeper of Bermuda, Zachary Turner. I'm not sure she's going to be able to continue, but whether she's trying to catch the eye of the referee, I'm not too sure. She's doing some stretching exercises. Each squad of 20 does include 2 goalkeepers. So Gaia Mellicott could get the call. She's the number 2 keeper from Barclay. A 15-year-old with just 1 previous international appearance at this level. 12 minutes played, Canada 0, Bermuda 0. It probably took both Haiti and Mexico around about this sort of time to make a breakthrough yesterday. Straight out, so Bermuda's throw to be taken by Koa Goodchild from Satus. Another of the 15-year-olds, the girl with the pink headband. And there's a familiar pattern developing here. Canada tried to work the ball through and to get it up into the 18-yard area, which is exactly what they do. But the cross ball in wasn't good enough to elude the goalkeeper. Riviere. Much of the players going through Caitlin Shaw, one of the most experienced of the Canadian players, and this will be a throw into Bermuda. In the group stages, they won 3 games and scored 21 goals, conceding only 1 Bermuda in their matches against St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, and Aruba, who they thrashed 13-1. I don't think we're going to see a scoreline like that today. And Canada are actually dispossessed. The player who lost the ball was Alia Scott. The race at the other end, and trying to show her paces is the gallant number 9, Naya Christopher. Well, Canada would be expecting to get a breakthrough any moment now, you would expect. But they're making rather heavy weather of it. All about getting some fluidity into the passing movements. That's better. That picks out a player in some space, but that one doesn't. A well-organised Bermudan side. Get the ball downfield all the way to goalkeeper Kapenko, who is from Toronto and actually speaks Russian, as you might suspect from a name like Kapenko. Too long, I think, from Riviere to be a problem. And that will be a free kick for the Canadian side. The challenge on Sonia Walk was an illegal one by Nesbeth. And you'd think that Bermuda would like to get Nesbeth in more advanced positions because she's perhaps their most talented striker with 12 goals in 14 international appearances. But no sign of that as yet. And once again, the red wall will retreat. With a Canada free kick, let's count. 5 in white are up there waiting and hoping, including Riviere here, who is going to take the kick, or maybe it will be left to Shaw. That's the think tank. Can Canada achieve a breakthrough in the 16th minute? It is Riviere, and just too deep. Not quite working out for the Canadians as yet. And both teams, of course, have 20 players in their entire squads. And now there is a problem with the goalkeeper. And I'm not convinced that she's going to be able to continue here. She's going to require treatment from the Bermudan bench, and the physiotherapist, Daniel Richaud, will come on to inquire as to the problem for Zachary Turner. But the 15-year-old who plays her football in Orlando was in some great discomfort a couple of minutes ago. I think the discussion there is to establish whether she's willing to give it a go. There's a magic spray coming out. Or maybe she can get to half-time, or maybe she can get through the whole 90 minutes. Who's to know? Just in case you should wonder about the rules of this competition, each match is played over 2 segments of 45 minutes per half. No extra time, of course, in these matches, and no extra time at any stage of the competition. If a match is equal in the final or the third place match or knockout phases, then it goes straight to penalty kicks. Still much discussion between the goalkeeper and a physiotherapist. That does not look good to me, I must say. And if you have a reserve goalkeeper, then it might be better to use her. If she's not going to be mobile, the wise decision would be to replace her. I think that might be what the referee is signalling across there. The physio's on her way back to the bench, but clearly a decision to be made here for Bermuda. There's one very unhappy looking goalkeeper. But maybe the sub-goalkeeper may not be warmed up as yet. Anyway, Turner's going to continue for the time being, but it would be catastrophic if she were to concede a goal due to her incapacity, which is what you'd have to describe it at the moment. She's not moving at all with any freedom. Nor Bermuda doing their best to get forward. But once again, they have to retreat. Riviere always seeks to go infield, and then this time just successfully play the ball into the left-hand channel. Better cross, but offside again. That's about the 4th time that Canada have been caught offside. Williams, the offender this time, on the Valeron pass. And once again, the officials have got it spot on. Canada 0, Bermuda 0, and we're in the 20th minute here in Managua. This one does get through into the heart of the penalty area. The chase is on for Kayla Novak, and still might get the better here of the defence, but the goalkeeper has some work to do and manages to do it. But obviously in discomfort. And the ball in from the far side. Novak had worked well to help set up the situation. Turner's still hopping around just outside the 6-yard area, trying to get some movement in maybe. This is better from Canada's perspective, and this is onside. They have a real chance of getting the opener here, but well defended. Canada still monopolising possession with Riviere. This time she goes on the outside. Great ball in! Headed wide. What a chance it was for Heitema. One you'd expect her to take maybe 9 times out of 10. Lovely cross here. Absolutely perfect. And the striker could not have asked to have been in a better position. And she will curse the fact that she has not given Canada the lead and put that one away. It Has to be the miss of the tournament so far. The big question was, where were the Bermudan centre halves? Yet another lesson to heed. They are moving forward this time, the team in red, with Christopher. And they've got a pass going and a move going down on that right touch line. It would be ironic if Bermuda were to score first after all the pressure they've withstood. Williams wrestling to get the possession for her country there. Chasing back his good child. 7 caps for her now. But so the ball was hit a little too fiercely at Gibbons. Throw in Canada on a line with the 18-yard area. Probably going to be taken further away than it needs to be. And Riviere knows where her colleague is going to be and finds walk. The two central midfielders of Canada are able to retain the possession, so it is Bermuda. Well, they give it away rather limply on this occasion. Heitema, who missed that golden opportunity a couple of minutes ago. She'll want to atone for that as quickly as possible. But we're now halfway through the opening half here in Managua, and it's still 0-0, but one wonders for how long. Walk loses out, can't win it back. The race on at the other end, and Christopher's quick. If she's slick enough to get beyond the defender here, there could be an absolute shock on the cards, but Bermuda and Christopher are denied. Splendid play defensively there for the Canadians. That was very well done indeed by the experienced centre-back Maya Antoine. And Jade Rose to the fore as well. And this is Jade Rose. Just nudges the ball forward. Well, Canada can't complain about the amount of possession they've had, but they've not been able to use it to particularly good effect as yet. They've not really got too many chances in. We know there was the one missed by the centre forward Heitema, but that apart, they've not really conjured up too many chances, and they'll concede a free kick now as well. Foul is by Valeron. And the longer Bermuda can hold out, the more proud they will be of their performance. Sure, there's a great interest back on the island about the appearance of their under-17 women's team here. Riviere always seems in total control of what she wants to do with the ball. What she does do is move it along to Walk. Further from her to Valeron. Valeron lifts that one in. Heitema just allowed it to go beyond her. She's not got on the end of things as yet. Jordan Heitema, number 9 there, who also from Vancouver, has 10 senior caps for the Canadians. Hoping to follow in the footsteps of the great Christy Sinclair. Rose, tall, commanding centre half. Looks as though she's been playing there for a long time. It doesn't look like a debut. They've just got to piece a move together, and that's what they're doing here. Again, the breakthrough is not achievable, but the Canadians have got a lot in there. Plenty of bodies, but no finish. The last ball is lacking at the moment. Maybe here now, the save is made, and well done to Zachary Turner, who forgets her slight injury. She's hobbling, as you can see probably here. But that was another chance for Canada, and it was Heitema once again. Doesn't quite get the angle on the shot that she needed. Too straight. And we've had 25 minutes without a breakthrough for the Canadians. goal kick. Not only did Canada win this championship in the year 2010, where they beat Mexico in the finals, but they were also runners-up in 2012 and 2013. The competition played in consecutive years then. Here we are in 2018 with one team monopolising the ball but not finding the net. Nor will they in this move either. The ball prodded out by Scott. And Canada will become more and more frustrated the longer the scoreline remains bare. The onus very much on them. Valorant can't retain it. The ball's got through to Christopher, and she's goal side of the entire Canadian defence, but they're all coming back. There's about 5 of them in the white shirts back there now to deny Naya Christopher. Really did well, battling away, but almost inevitably when the cross comes in, there's nobody else in red there to accept it. So we return to the regular scenario. Canada moving from left to right. 27 minutes played, 0-0 the scoreline. It was a rather rash challenge on Heitema. And there's the offender. Danny Watson, the captain today, winning her 8th cap. And going right through the back of Heitema. Oh, if that one had come later in the match, that could have been worthy of a yellow card. Although we always say it doesn't matter what the time in the game, what the context, if it's a bookable offence, it's a bookable offence. So it'll be interesting to see if we get cards later. 0-0 at the moment. She's kept a clean sheet as Zachary Turner, despite her problems. The same 2 players are considering what to do with the free kick here. Jade Riviere and Caitlin Shaw. And there looks to be a lot of red shirts back there defending. Only 3 outfield players not in that line. When will Canada get the break? Not the most inspirational free kick, you have to say. And I don't think Bev Priestman would be too impressed by that. Their assistant, by the way, is the formidable former international, Rhiannon Wilkinson. Won more than 100 caps, played in World Cup finals. And still they don't play the ball back to goalkeeper Karpenko. Valorant. Here is Riviere. Fools the opponent. Feinted to go inside, went on the outside, but lost the possession. Rose across. Just plays it nice and simple. That's been a feature of Jade Rose's game so far today. And Riviere has had a lot of the ball down this right side, but they tend to be just a little predictable at the moment, Canada. Nothing incisive. And that's got to be too long again. And the goalkeeper scrambles down, falls on the ball, and limps away. Well, she's only got another, what, quarter of an hour to go, and she can have some treatment. Well, she looks again to be wincing as she cleared that ball over halfway. Riviere. For Williams, one of the debutants today, plays a good ball as well. So they're doing a fine job of the Bermudans. Anybody watching back there in Hamilton will be very pleased with this scoreline as we hit the 30-minute mark. It's Canada 0, Bermuda 0. And that would appear to be against all the odds. After the games I mentioned earlier, Bermuda had a 2-2 draw with Trinidad and Tobago and a 3-2 win against Jamaica. And although they lost the Caribbean qualifying final by 4-1 to Haiti, they still made it through. And certainly giving a good account of themselves in terms of organisation and defence. And that's a good feint, and the goalkeeper just gets there. That might not have helped her cause, but she had to do it. Came out in the nick of time. And it's the Canadian player who is down. Let's have a look here. Just fended off by Delia Ebbin, Caitlin Shaw. Not seen as a foul by the officials, and as is permitted these days, after over half an hour we have a drinks break. It is a warm and a humid afternoon here in Managua, and there's the coach of the Canadian team, vocal, and I'm not surprised. Let's see if in these remaining minutes of the half they've been listening to what she has to say and can take some sort of advantage, especially of the goalkeeper's incapacity. They've not really been peppering her with shots as you would have expected, because she can't move freely. But Bermuda still choosing to keep the original goalkeeper in there. A thumbs up from the Canadian coach, but not in terms of the scoreline as yet. She'd have hoped for better. Play resumes with Canada's throw from Riviere. Space made now. And they're queuing up around that 18-yard area. Here is a shot! It's just gone wide. It wasn't a bad effort, though, from Caitlin Shaw. And maybe one of the messages from the coach is start getting those shots in on goal, no matter where you are. That's the sort of thing they've got to do. She's 23, 24 yards out and just pulls it, actually. It's still only missed by a fraction. More encouraging for Canada, that. Plenty forward again here now. Oh, that's another free kick. A barge in the back by Leilani Nesbeth, number 10. The referee chooses not to speak with her. It was just an enthusiastic lunge into the back of Jordan Heitemer. Now this is a better position than any they've had before. No question about the foul. Now this is 25 yards from the net, and the goalkeeper, if I use the phrase hopping around, it's apt, because that's exactly what she is doing. She's hopping. She'll be hopping mad if the shot goes in, and it will be Jordan Heitemer, scorer of 18 goals at this age level from just 34 appearances, who tries to add to that tally. The goalkeeper's not sure where to stand, I don't think. She's almost central at the moment. It is going to be Heitemer. She gets it through and she gets it over the top. Still no joy for Les Rouges. Today they're Les Blancs. And they're scoreless. Well, we had a surfeit of goals yesterday. 5 in the opening game between Puerto Rico and Haiti. 8 for Mexico against Nicaragua. None as yet in this match. Canada trying to sort of bludgeon their way through before Riviere fools the opposition. Might get a corner out of this. Only a throw-in. And it's certainly stern resistance that Bermuda are putting up. Rather timid attempted cross there from Scott. Williams on the chase, trying to get the corner kick. Only a throw-in. But again, how well Bermuda have defended their net and protected their goalkeeper. And I'm not quite sure what their coach will say, because he should be delighted with the scoreline. Hard to see his own side scoring here. Might be a chance for Heitemer. She turns, and a rather ungainly stab at the ball by Williams. It's drifted out. We're within 10 minutes of what would certainly be a shock scoreline here if it stays 0-0 at half-time. It's frequently said you can have too much of the ball and run out of ideas, and that might just apply to Canada at the moment. But when they get one goal, they may get more. And here is a chance. Out this time for the corner. Well defended, at least. Again, the goalkeeper didn't have any work to do. The protection came from Danny Watson. Jenna Rempel also in the heart of that defence, doing some sterling work, thwarting the Canadians, who all want to be on a score sheet. Headed straight down by Heitema, though. She's had no joy whatsoever in that area. She had one golden opportunity with a header from a great cross from Riviere and put that wide. Now maybe it's just dented her confidence a fraction. Still 0-0. It must have seemed quite a long half for the Bermudan defence. And they're still nowhere near the interval. Jade Rose just does it nice and simple. She's probably playing to orders. Just don't get too adventurous. Keep the moves flowing. Just look to find somebody else in a white shirt, and that's what she does do. And that's well played again, and the work for the goalkeeper. Well played by Leilani Nesbeth, who tried to thread that ball through to Nia Christopher. And the two of them went exemplary goal-scoring records in the qualifiers. Nesbeth actually scored 6 in one match. They won that one by 13 goals to 1 against Aruba. She scored against loftier opposition than that as well. We're getting ever closer to half-time here. Less than 8 minutes remaining in the half. Excellent play once more from Riviere, who mustn't run out of space. Pulls it back. Plenty of red shirts around, though. Needed a deeper ball in from Riviere. Christopher plays the lone striker role well. Managed to get it back to a colleague too. Done the first time clearance from Chinay Edwards. Didn't find a colleague. Still the Canadians can't find a way through this maze of defence being put up against them. Here is the effort from Riviere. They chased her all the way, and that meant that she could only cross the ball in low. She took a tumble and had an opponent landing on top of her, but didn't complain. Just over 6 minutes left in the half. Managua awaiting the first goal of its day. Remember, later, United States of America will be playing. Here's a great run for Canada. Here maybe, oh no, nobody else in white is there. There's somebody in white here to receive that wayward ball out of defence. It is Riviere, goes for goal. It's a fantastic goal. A brilliant strike to make the breakthrough. Well, you know now why Jade Riviere can score goals even though she's playing at right full-back. We've had a long, long wait, the best part of 40 minutes, but it was worth a wait because Jade Riviere, the 17-year-old, has rammed this one into the roof of the Bermuda net from all of about 28, 29 yards. And goalkeeper Turner, already struggling to move, does her best to get there and can only palm the ball into her own net. Canada has the lead before half-time, and what a lead given them by Riviere. It's her 6th international goal in just 15 appearances, and yet she's playing at right fullback today. Cracker. And you felt a bit for the goalkeeper there. Here's the hero of the moment. The goalkeeper simply just couldn't get there. We saw a slightly similar goal yesterday. One of the Mexican players lofted a shot in. That was the right fullback, Reyes, actually. And that ball went rather embarrassingly through the goalkeeper's fingers. This one just hit the net with the faintest of touches of the hand for the keeper. So Bermuda denied a clean sheet in the opening half. but they'd held out for a long, long time. Can Canada advance to a better cushion, a better scoreline now before the break, now that they've made that breakthrough? Albeit with a long-range shot and not with a concerted movement. Back with Antoine. Now Riviere, who is perhaps the leading player on the pitch at the moment, not only because of that goal, but because of some of the delivery she's achieved. Goal kick here. Well, if you stay with us for the highlights at half-time, I'm sure you'll enjoy, again, seeing the net ripple with that tremendous effort from the full-back. Who says that in women's football you don't see spectacular long-range strikes? You definitely do. And that was one of the best from this young lady, 17 years of age, actually speaks Chinese. Canada queuing up again to try and add to that tally now. Now they've got the first, they might get a second. That's offside. And if there is a fault to be made with Canada in the final third of this pitch, it is that they have strayed into offside positions on numerous occasions. There was the moment that Williams went too quickly. 2.5 minutes remaining in the opening half in Managua. But the least prolific of the games so far, this, which may surprise some people. A long way to go, of course. A longer one here over the top of the defender. Big chance for Canada to find a second goal. It's off the upright. Goalkeeper has it. Foul is on the keeper. That was a better ball because it cut out the entire Bermudan defence. And I was looking for the flag to be raised there. Cross was tipped against the bar by the goalkeeper, Turner. And then the whistle had gone. Tipped against the bar and actually tries to grab it here. Just in conflict with Heitema. She gets the free kick. Well, although Canada have the lead, I don't think that their coach will be entirely satisfied with the nature of the first half performance. They would expect to be more than a goal to the good for all the pressure that they've achieved. And so long as there are only one goal in front, who knows what could happen. Free kick for Bermuda here to be taken by Delia Ebin, another who plays in the United States at the Darlington Academy. Doesn't get it past the first line of defence though. Referee says play on there. And we are inside the last minute of the half. But if Canada was expecting to pile up the goals today, they're mightily disappointed. They've racked up the magnificent tally of just one. Oh, that's a clever turn. Good play from Heitema. That's where she is strong. And she checks inside, retains the possession well, and then switches the point of the attack for the one goal scorer we've had. Maybe she'll try again. She does, but rather drags this one. And it scoots along the surface into the hands of Turner. But Riviere will be pleased to have got the goal. Christopher. Just be 1 minute of added time. Signaled by the fourth official, Lucila Venegas from Mexico. And you wonder who is going to be more pleased with the efforts of the first 45 minutes. Canada because they have the lead, or Bermuda because they've managed to restrict the former champions to just a single strike on goal. Successful strike. Well, they've certainly covered and marked very well of Bermuda. And no free kick again. The problem is that the Bermuda side just doesn't retain possession, and so as the referee blows the whistle to signal a walk to the dressing rooms, it is Canada who have an advantage, but it's only the most slender of advantages. The goalkeeper has struggled throughout and will need treatment straight away. Riviere got the one goal that we've seen so far in Managua. It is Canada 1, Bermuda 0.
Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales para las últimas noticias, resultados y los mejores momentos del partido. Impulsa tu juego. Gatorade se gana desde dentro. Transportes El Águila del Sur, desde hace 50 años, brindándole sus servicios de calidad y seguridad, comprometidos a crecer por y con ustedes, 100% nicaragüenses. Fuente pura, deja que fluya.
To do the highlights.
There you go, you set? Okay, here we go. Action. Playback.
In one way, the game has gone exactly as we expected, with Canada enjoying a 64% possession count against the 36% of Bermuda. And look at that, 12 shots by Canada, none by Bermuda. In fact, the goalkeeper of Canada, Anna Karpenko, on her debut, has barely touched the ball. 4 of those 12 shots were directly on the target, and yet goalkeeper Zachary Turner, who's struggling with an injury, not really tested. This is the opening match in Group B of the Women's Under-17 Concacaf tournament here in Nicaragua. And we knew that Canada would be the ones to take the game to the opposition, the debutants Bermuda. And the 31-year-old Canadian coach, Bev Priestman, was hoping that Heitemer, number 9, would be on the score sheets early in this game, I think, as a senior player in the Canadian team. But goalkeeper Turner foiled most of the things, and that was the real opportunity for Heitemer to get on the score sheet. A lovely cross in, but she missed it. She missed the next one as well. Riviere had been the best player so far. Heitema was always hustling into the penalty area, with Turner struggling. Shots coming from all ranges, even from free kicks. Heitema couldn't make it count. But then we have this moment here, a fabulous strike to break the deadlock. It was Jade Riviere, the 17-year-old from Vancouver Whitecaps, a player who played in the World Cup finals in Jordan 2 years ago, who was the first to find the net today. And that's why we have a half-time scoreline of Canada 1, Bermuda 0. Thank you.
Hey lady, life's too short to be waiting on, so let's not waste it. When we both know you're the one, will I ever be too far away when you feel alone? No way, no. Will I ever back down? What's hard to protect your home? No way. Will I ever spend a day not telling you you're beautiful? No way, no. No way, no way, no. No way, no. No way, 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 offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why.
Welcome back to the National Stadium in Managua for the second half of this opening game in Group B between Canada and Bermuda. And anybody expecting an avalanche of goals in the first half would be disappointed. It's 1-0 to Canada. A goal struck by Jade Riviere, their right fullback. And I've just been waiting for a sighting of the Bermudan goalkeeper, and here she comes. There you go, bottom of your picture. On the left-hand side, number 1, Zachary Turner. I'm sure they've been working on her limbs in the dressing room at half-time because she really struggled throughout most of the first 45 minutes. But she was beaten only once. So referee Sandra Benitez from El Salvador says, let's go. Second half, 1-0 Canada. And we've got an attack for Bermuda straight at the onset of the half. They have to wait for somebody to come and take the throw-in, and it will be Jenna Rempel from Cheat Hall, winning her first cap today. So a significant moment in her fledgling career. But Canada would hope to strike early in this half. It took them such a long time to get the opening goal. 40 minutes, in fact, before Riviere struck. They won't want to wait as long in this half. And they've got some defending to do now. And the ball breaks down that left touchline, but Nesbitt gives up the chase. The throw-in is from Jade Rose. Where's number 19 at 15 years of age, the youngest member of the squad, and getting a debut today in the heart of the defence. The girl from Unionville, Milliken. And they've decided to give a touch to the goalkeeper. Coming deep to accept the ball out is Shaw. Caitlin Shaw. Strong running from Williams, tries to thread the ball through. Might do so, in fact. Is there a finish here? Oh, big chance. Oh, she checks and turns and just loses the possession and lost the momentum there. It's not been the best of days at the moment for Jordan Heitemer, the striker with an enviable goal-scoring record, but struggled today. Once again, the Canadians will begin at the back. And once again, they involve Sonia Walk from North Toronto. It would be surprising if Heitemer didn't get on the score sheet at some stage of the afternoon. It's a 5:30 kickoff here, by the way, so we're coming up, well, we've just gone past 6:30 in the evening. This is a better run. The shot is slewed away off the outside of the right boot. Disappointing finale for Julianne Valeron, who has got one international goal. Still the limp is there. Well, one thing, you won't expect to see any long clearances from the Bermudan goalkeeper. What we will expect to see is a lot of Canadian possession again. But not given away like that. Although one back instantly. Bermuda's turn to try and attack through Danny Watson. Picked out this time by Maya Antoine. One of the considerable contingent from Vancouver Whitecaps, and a good run here, and Canada setting themselves up into a great attacking position. And do they get the corner? No, they do not. I think there's an extra spring in the step of Jordan Heitemer in this second half. That's where the flag was raised, and quite rightly so again. The two assistant officials, Emperatriz Ayala and Neredin Diaz, have been spot on in all their decisions today. The latter, by the way, from Cuba. Continues to be hard work out there, but at least not in the heat of the day for these two teams. Slugging it out for the right to take 3 points from this fixture. That's a better ball in, but the goalkeeper's there, Turner. Sort of ambles out to pick the ball up. Canada's number 11 is Kayla Novak, another making a debut today. She comes from London, Ontario, the 16-year-old striker. Back from Kapenko. Wide is Valeron. Once again, it's Antoine, a silver medalist in the Concacaf Under-17 Championships, as many of these girls were. And this time it is a deeper ball up there, taken down in one, not entirely comfortably, but they're closing in here, and it's out for a corner. It looked for all the world as though Heitema might be in for the second goal of the Canadian afternoon. This time they do stay onside. One player was keeping Valeron onside. The cross looked perfect, but so was the defending. Really well done by the Bermudan defence, and Koa Goodchild in particular. Canada's corner. 5 minutes gone in the second half. No addition to the one goal scored so far. They're all waiting. Others are determined it's going to be a short routine. And eventually a longer blast on the whistle. And the ball does get across, but it goes all the way through. And Bermuda can come thundering out and try and find Christopher, who's had an unenviable task today in leading the line for Bermuda. But she'll concede a free kick here. Naya Christopher from the John Carroll Club. Scored 4 times in the qualifiers, but has undoubtedly tripped Julian Valeron there. So Canada's free kick, 6 minutes into the second half in Managua. The floodlights are on. And the lights have certainly not got out on Bermuda yet. Oh, that was a close call. I think the ball spun away there off Danny Watson and out for a corner. It rippled the net, but fortunately for her, it's the outside of the net. And Canada, can they find another breakthrough? The pressure is intensifying. This clearance is from Trini Edwards. Once again, Canada's corner. Eyes trained on that penalty area. But they've not worked it very well. North and Bermuda get the ball up to one of their own. So inevitably it's going to come back their way. I think there'll be some tired legs by the end of the game. Remember, USA's match against Costa Rica is still to come. USA unbeaten in regulation time in any match in this women's under-17 tournament. And this is the 6th edition of it. You just wonder where the next Canadian breakthrough will come from. It might need a blinding moment of inspiration from somebody, like we saw with the one goal scored by Riviere. Again, they have so much of the ball, but not doing enough with it. They'll get a free kick here. The referee points in that direction, a quickly taken one as well. That was good. Still no clear opening created. Deciding to keep the ball in play, Valeron. Then Antoine. If they get 2, they might get 3 or 4. There's a question of getting this second goal. It's not proving easy. And there was a handball, I fancy, there, so the referee comes over. Yeah, handball. She indicates that by raising the arm. And then warns the Bermuda players to get away from the ball. Not using the spray can at the moment. That was the handball there. It wasn't far away. 16 there is Williams. 9 taking the free kick is Jordan Heitema. Second top scorer in the Concacaf Under-15 tournament with 8 goals, Heitema. but still waiting for one today. And now we do see a spray can. It puffs up into the dark night here in Nicaragua. Haitema slides it through. Strong challenge, and I think the referee's going to say take that one again. She wasn't ready. Wait for the whistle is the message. Haitema must have spotted an opportunity there, so she's decided to try and find somebody else rather than go for goal. There are certainly plenty of white shirts occupying positions in that area. Clever ball across. Out for the corner. Well defended again. And there's been some resolution about Bermuda's play. Really making Canada work for their breakthrough. 10 minutes gone in the second half. No addition to the half-time scoreline of 1-0. Ball in high and off the inside of the upright. And the goalkeeper's claimed it. Once again, Zachary Turner manages to protect her net. But how close that one was to a second Canadian goal. That might have broken Bermuda's resistance. We can have another look at this one now. From the corner, swinging into round about the penalty spot. Up goes Haitema, and she's had no luck today whatsoever. And not even in the follow-up can they force the ball through. It comes off the upright. Beyond the goalkeeper, Haitema's there, and she cannot beat the goalkeeper today. Well, how many more chances does she need? She may get another one now. Canada still being thwarted, though. Bermuda putting bodies on the line all the time. But Haitema has had a header from a perfect position in front of the goal in the first half. There she struck the upright, the inside of the upright, and then on the rebound, just prodded it straight into the goalkeeper. And I think Canada might make a substitution very shortly. In fact, they're going to make it now. And the player coming off is the central midfield player, Caitlin Shaw. And the player coming on is Maya Ladani. More about her in a moment.
Su sustitución en la selección nacional de Canadá.
Well, let's see if she can influence proceedings. Ladani,
Ingresa con el número
15 years of
14,
age,
Maya
from
Ladani.
Gujarati.
Se retira con el número 8, Caitlin Shaw.
And it's a double switch as well. And, well, this was unexpected. Haitema is not going to get on the score sheet today. He's having to give way to the number 16-year-old Nigerian, Teni Akindoju. Let's see if the two newcomers have any more fortune than the two have just been replaced. Not initially, the ball was in the grasp of Turner again. 1-0 Canada lead. 57 minutes played. And I think Bermuda may react by bringing a substitute of their own into the fray. Well, it really has not been Haitema's day, if that's offside. The first touch from the Nigerian-born replacement. Teni Akindoju, born in Lagos in Nigeria. There she is. Number 12, a 16-year-old who's got 10 international goals so far, including 5 in the Under-17 tournament. She wasn't the one who strayed. Here's the other substitute. All rather hurried at the moment from the Canadians. It's all very well having so much of the ball, but they've not been able to do a great deal with it. Valeron. Well, possession gifted to the opposition now. Although already it's back in the possession of Maya Antoine, a 16-year-old from Vaughan, Ontario. I think everyone in a white shirt's had a lot of the ball, including this substitute Maya Ladani, who's from the Vancouver Whitecaps club. She's already featured in 2 moves and 2 minutes that she's been on the field. But no change in this scoreline. And it's almost a cause of celebration for Bermuda to be getting to the hour mark with a concession of just 1 goal. And certainly the United States will be looking at this match, and Costa Rica will be looking at this match and thinking, Canada maybe not as strong as we thought they were going to be. But every match is different, and here they do come looking for goal number 2. Plenty of white shirts up in this move. But the whistle's gone. Still no joy, not even for Ladani. Interesting player, Ladani, 15 years of age. Her father's from Uganda. She was a silver medalist in the Concacaf Under-17 tournament. But and here is that substitution I was alluding to for Bermuda. And the player coming off is Adia Gibbons, and the player coming on will be Drew Bascom.
Sustitución en la selección nacional de Bermudas. Ingresa con el número 20, Drew Bascom.
A debut for her, the player from Cedar Bridge.
Adia Gibbons.
15-year-old midfielder. Canada want to get that second as soon as they possibly can, just to ease any anxiety that they might be feeling, because a slender advantage like they've got is not good enough, frankly, for them. Over all the years, they've scored a lot of goals of the Canadians at under-17 level. They average 3 goals per game, and certainly would have expected to improve on that today. They've scored 75 times in 25 previous matches. But just 1 goal at the moment, with less than half an hour remaining. Well, they came close from one corner recently when Heitema hit the bar, and here is a shot, and they've got their second goal, and it's a cracker, and it takes something special to beat Zachary Turner, and it did come from the corner kick, and it's going to be interesting on the replay to see how this one has gone in. It's a left-footed shot, and it looks like the player who is taking all the applause here is Kaylin Novak into the penalty area here, left-footed, and beats the despairing dive of the goalkeeper. Short routine here, a little touch there, back to Novak, who takes a touch into the area, and it's a blistering drive with the left foot. And again, Turner, as on the first goal, does get a despairing finger to it, but there's enough pace and venom in the shot to find the net, and my voice was lifted there because we had a rare moment here where Bermuda could have hit back. So we'll see that in a moment, I'm sure, but Bermuda almost hit back immediately, and Kapenko has had to make certainly her first save of the match. A minute after the second Canadian goal for Novak. And it's Novak's first international goal, so she will certainly remember this day. Well, both breakthroughs have taken a lot in achieving. 40 minutes in the first half and another 17 minutes in the second before Novak struck. And then almost immediately back came Bermuda, and we're almost on for history with the first goal. Here's a header, and the header downward from Nesbeth is clutched by Kapenko, who would hate to get beaten today. This is it. This is the shot. It wasn't a bad one either. It's just tipped over by Kapenko. The effort from Leilani Nesbeth. We know she can score goals. Top scorer in the qualifiers, and close there to breaking Bermuda's duck in these CONCACAF regional finals. Oh, that's a lovely ball inside the defence, and Canada now coming and getting the shots in all of a sudden where they weren't earlier. And well played, Zachary Turner, down to it to make the stop. She's shown gallantry today in overcoming the injury she suffered early in the match. She might not make the second game. Bermuda's next task is to take on the United States. Goal kick. So while Bermuda will be playing the United States on the 22nd of April, that's just in a couple of days' time, they work hard in this tournament. The Canadians will be meeting Costa Rica. Instructions there from Coach Priestman for another substitute who would appear to be coming on for the Canadians shortly. It will be their third and final one. Meanwhile, Bermuda's coach Aaron Denkins, I don't know if you saw at half-time, he actually helped his goalkeeper off with a piggyback. Canada 2, Bermuda 0, 65 minutes gone and 25 to go. I told you earlier that Canada averaged 3 goals per game in the history of this tournament. So one more would just keep the healthy average up. And there'll be a free kick for Bermuda here. Won by Leilani Nesbeth from the Beads UK club. The one who hit that shot in a few minutes ago, which was tipped over by Karpenko. So she's coming to the fore a little in this match now. And wants to take this free kick as well. Nesbeth. Let's see if she's going to try and beat Anna Karpenko from distance. Or whether she'll attempt to tee somebody else up. The 4 in red here, that's all. They've left a couple of players back on the halfway line. Not too ambitious from Bermuda. A warning to stand still. So free kick Bermuda to be taken by Leilani Nesbeth. It'll be right-footed, and she will go for goal, and it was a decent try as well. Palmed down by Karpenko. But at least Nesbeth's had 2 good tries for Bermuda in this half, which folk watching back home I'm sure will be encouraged by. 2-0 is by no means a poor scoreline for Bermuda, I assure you. They'd taken that if you'd have given them it at the start. Lovely ball through, bisecting the defence here. Has she got the strength to go beyond the defender? The answer is no. Williams was foiled. Back with Antoine. Then with Valeron. You do get the feeling that Canada might be able to add to these 2 goals, though. The way they've started to cut through the Bermudan defence rather more regularly. And here is another chance for them. Not a bad pass, but look how many red shirts there are around there. And how the Bermudans are battling. Still they have to concede the possession. Still Canada come forward. Incessant pressure. But no torrent of goals. Into a good shooting position. Off the bar. That's the 3rd time the frame of the goal has been struck by Canada today. And the latest was Maya Ladani. She's on the ball again. Chips one in this time. Well, that was really unfortunate. Ladani just as unlucky as Heitema was earlier in striking the crossbar. For once, Antoine loses possession. Bermuda have given a good account of themselves. It's hardly potent. But not to be taken lightly. Chances again for the Canadians here. All depends where this one lands. It didn't land to their advantage, so they have to work hard again to manoeuvre a position. 22 minutes remaining. Canada 2 goals to the good. Still to come today, the United States of America, 3-time champions against Costa Rica. They just cannot get the ball away to safety. And this one loops out, I think, for the corner. Yes, despite the best efforts of the defender to get to this one. Here's the effort from Ladani. Weaves into position for the shot, and she is powerful, and it thumps against the crossbar. Really good effort from Maya Ladani, who has 2 international goals to her name, and that would have been a spectacular third. Not to be, and we will have the last of the Canadian substitutions here now, with the player coming on, Olivia Cook, the oldest member of the squad, and the scorer of the first goal, Riviere, is the player who gives way. Olivia Cook from West Ottawa, the capital. Her mother was an alpine skier. She's a footballer. And can she find the net? Others have failed to do so far. The ball's still in play. Crossing to a dangerous area. Well, most of the tries are long-range efforts, and most are going high and wide. That was the latest effort, which came from Alia Scott. But the number 10 on the Bermuda team there, Leilani Nesbeth, has had 2 worthy tries at goal today. Maybe she'll score later in the championship. Maybe Canada will score again this afternoon. The ball is slipped down the line by Valeron. Oh, good play to beyond the first line of defence. Ladani's made a big impact on this game, but not a big impact with that shot. And if anything, Turner seems to be moving a fraction more smoothly. And here's a race. Oh, and comfortably done. Dealt with very, very good play again by the impressive centre-back Maya Antoine. Her parents from Grenada. So all of Canada's attack again here, seeking to breach that last line of Bermudan defence. Great run into the area. The referee will look at that and will give a free kick on the edge. Well, it was very close to being the first penalty of the championships, I think. Very, very close against Danny Watson. No Heitemer on now to hit one in. Williams was the attacker. Oh, a subtle piece of defending. Or maybe the word should be unsubtle. She clipped her anyway. It's a free kick, Canada. They lead 2-0, and they've 19 minutes left in which to add to that tally. But it has not been an easy afternoon for the Canadians. They await the referee's whistle. There look to be some pretty big gaps there, and that wall looks more than 10 yards away. It looks to be about 15 or 20 yards away. Back again, slip through, reverse ball, low shot, grabbed by Turner. She's been a good shot stopper today, and it would have been a first goal for Olivia Cook there, had that one gone in within about 5 minutes of her debut appearance. But it summed up the way the game has gone for the Canadians. They might have had a few more goals, but they've had to work for the 2 they have got. And they still work. Trying to find gaps. Finding their players better now, and into the penalty area, a weaving run. And a nice little combination play involving Nesbeth. Until Canada tried to take advantage again, and a couple of stern challenges before Sonia Walk emerges with the ball for the team in white. Another surging run down the outside. The cutback does find the Nigerian-born striker, who's hustling away to no avail. That striker, Akindoju, trying to make her presence felt on the edge of that 18-yard area. If she's going to get a goal, she's got 17 minutes left in which to do so. Canada 2, Bermuda 0. All very neat and tidy, but not particularly potent from Canada at the moment. It can be difficult when the opposition puts everybody behind the ball, as Bermuda tend to be doing. Into a nice space occupied down the left by Valeron. She loses out, wins it back, and might be a free kick against Valeron. It is. 16-year-old from Montreal. digs in there, and not too fairly either. The free kick is for Bermuda. Interesting that Bermuda have made just the one substitution, whereas Canada have used up all 3 of their replacements. Bermuda will, however, make a second switch in a moment. Shepherded back for a rare touch of the ball for Karpenko's. Had to make 1 save in the match, that's all really. A good save it was from Leilani Nesbitt as well. Once again, Bermuda go back, prepared to suck in anything that the Canadians can throw at them. Nice little manoeuvre there with the back heel. Good looking cross as well. Not properly cleared. Canada might have chances yet. It's cracked over the bar though, and that will give Bermuda the chance to make their second substitution, with the player coming on, Zekia Lewis, the oldest member of their squad. 17-year-old, but she's not got the signal to come on as yet. Canada weaving into position again for a try at goal. Where will this one break? It does break for the Canadians. Long-range try, and as with so many other efforts, it's high and not so handsome. Now Lewis will be allowed on, a player from St. Johnsburg. The player she will replace will be Jaya Rattery-Smith. Rattery-Smith, the 16-year-old midfield player, gives way. So a quarter of an hour or so for Lewis to impose herself on this match. And it's not been easy for Bermuda at any stage of this contest. But perhaps their best player makes some inroads here, Nesbitt. Canada will start from the back as always, playing through midfield in the possession of Sonia Walk. But I'm sure if Bermuda can hold out without conceding any further goals, they will be really pleased. Might sound strange that, a 2-0 defeat and they're pleased, but it could have been a lot worse. No doubt everybody feels their biggest test will come against the United States of America, which is their next game coming up. Still 2-0 in this one though. No, that wasn't in the script either. Williams unable to latch on to the ball played to her by Ladani. The word is the United States do have a couple of knocks, so their lineup may not be the most predictable one. As Canada seek to try and win a corner kick. Well, there's certainly a physical presence about Teni Akindoju. She puts herself around here but concedes a free kick for the challenge on Watson. Most of these players began at the age of either 3 or 4 with their mothers or fathers, often footballers themselves. And it's Canada who would hope to get a third goal. They've got to get shots in to do that. Ladani's looked as likely as anybody, to be fair, and she almost threads her way through again. Done well since she's come on. Ample time here for Maya Antoine to turn and advance downfield. Then to supply a pass into the path of Valeron. Still Valeron, and still Valeron. But, rather overdoes it. I'm advised that Canada have already had 26 shots on goal. Something similar to the amount amassed by Mexico yesterday against our hosts here in Nicaragua. Yet the Canadian goalkeeper Kapenko has had one shot to deal with. She dealt with it very well as well, the Nesbitt effort she tipped over the top. So much time on the ball, Maya Antoine. Now the player who's made an impressive debut alongside her, Jade Rose. Canada probing once again as we approach the 80-minute mark. 10 to go. There won't be a lot of time to add on, just the 30 seconds that is allotted for each substitution. Canada try to find a position for a third. It's prodded wide though. And the player who prodded it wide was Teni Akindoju. Not a bad cross, quite an inviting one there, and she could have slithered it just inside the upright instead of outside. But it's been that sort of a day for the Canadians, with Heitima particularly culpable today. Oh, this might be the chance for the third. Valerud, and she's in here, must surely score this time. It is 3 for Canada, and the third goal has gone to Kayla Novak, just as the second went to Kayla Novak. Valeron made inroads, but it's Novak who makes it 3-0, and that has a familiar ring about it where Canada are concerned. Here she goes. It's a lucky spit off a shin that sends her up, but she evades the lunge there of the defender and has all the time in the world to just slot it beyond Turner into the Bermuda net. And 2 of Canada's 3 goals today have been potted by this girl, Kayla Novak, on debut. What a day for her. Canada 3, Bermuda 0. 10 minutes to go. And I think the celebrations on the bench there that you saw were on behalf of Novak's selection. It was by no means certain that she would be in the starting lineup today, but she was given her opportunity, and how she's taken it with 2 of the 3 goals. Well done, the coach. Well, it's amazing how Canada always seem to win by a 3-goal margin. They could, of course, get more yet. They've averaged 3 goals per game over all their previous 25 matches, and they are now on to 78 goals from 26 matches. A slight hiatus before this throw-in is taken by Rempel. Very calm performance from the referee today as well. One or 2 players look to be feeling the strain of the day. They'll be relieved to hear a final whistle in about 10 minutes' time when you've taken into account the added time. Bermuda on an attack and a shot as well. Again, it was from Leilani Nesbitt. No doubt she knows where the net is, the number 10 of Bermuda. She swung on that shot immediately. And she's in hustling here to try and win the ball off walk. Can't do so. Canada with 7 minutes left in which to add and to improve their average. But it's not been an easy task for them today by any means. On the ball now, again, Antoine. Still Antoine. Oh, and that's probably the worst pass she's played all day, gifting the ball to the opposition. And it really would be a shock if Bermuda were to hit back, but she had no options there. That was the problem. Nesbitt's the only player up alongside her, and I think panic mode set in there. What am I doing in the other half with the ball? Canada 3, Bermuda 0, as we approach the 84-minute mark. Players pointing the way where they want the ball. They're still having plenty of it, and different players moving into good shooting positions. But this low shot is dribbling through to goalkeeper Turner. Bermuda will make the third and last switch in a moment to give a bit of time to Schneier Atkinstall, one of the members of the Barclay Club. Canada's possession again. Once more leading the attack is Valeron. She feigned there to send a pass up into the penalty area. Instead it's a more pedestrian approach. Well, the ball has gone out, but Bermuda have not taken the opportunity of making that substitution, so they put more pressure on themselves. They desperately need to get the ball out of play to allow Atkinstall to come on. 3-0 it is. 5 minutes to go. Up to the 18-yard zone. Played wide by Akindoju. Walk. Antoine. Plenty of movement here from Canada. All a bit of a rush though. And now they've managed to get it forward to Nesbeth. Certainly the liveliest of the Bermuda players. Has to try and evade Rose and does so. Probably fouled as well by Jade Rose. She was. And we've not had a yellow card in this game. Indeed, I think we got a couple yesterday. But the final substitution will see the withdrawal of Naya Christopher, who's worked tirelessly in attack, especially in the first half for Bermuda. But she gives way for the closing moments now. And here comes the replacement.
Sustitución en la selección nacional de Bermudas. Al minuto 87. Se retira con el número 9, Naya Christopher. Ingresa con el número 7,
So is it going to be the familiar scoreline for Canada of 3-0 again? Or can they find yet another goal in the last 4 minutes? 3-0, probably a fair summary, although they've had so much of the play. They have hit the bar twice, which was slightly unfortunate for them. This is a substitute who's made a huge impact on the game, but she runs out of space on this occasion. But a good performance from Maya Ladani. Walk, who controls things through the middle. Walk again, always seems to be available. Canada seeking to put some pep into this final movement. And a really long-range try here, which goes into those empty stalls behind the net. The long-range try was from Olivia Cook, who almost scored within 2 minutes of coming on her debut at under-17 level. Well, the play is almost concentrated in one half of the field. And that being the case, you might have expected Canada to score more than 3 times. So I think they'll be a mite disappointed with the scoreline, if not the result. And later today, we'll see whether USA can overhaul them at the top of Group B with their game against Costa Rica. But it's been an enthusiastic performance from Bermuda on their debut. And how Karpenko, the goalkeeper, will have enjoyed the fact that she's had so little to do. A clean sheet on debut would be a fitting reward for her. Valeron. Walk. Less than 2 minutes left of the 90. Once again, Canada almost having too many options. but at least retaining the possession quite comfortably. Bermuda chasing shadows at the moment. But it's been a sort of a routine victory without being particularly inspiring for Canada. Maybe 4-0 would add a little gloss to the proceedings, though. Here is another chance inside the area. Oh, and the goalkeeper's missed it. And it's scrambled into the net for the most ungainly goal. And she's got a smile on her face, but it's almost a smile of embarrassment because she's conceded a free kick. Almost a hat-trick for Novak on debut, but not to be. Let's have a look at this one. Difficult situation, nobody offside, no question about that. Ladani pops it through. Shout for a handball maybe. Novak advances on the goalkeeper, and I'd love to tell you what happened. I can't do. I can tell you Novak is in the possession again. 2 added minutes, that's all. And away goes the ever hard-working Nesbitt. Can't go on the outside. In a better team, Nesbitt would be quite a handful. But she single-handedly played the ball up there and taken the fight to the Canadian defence. So a routine victory for the Canadians. They'll move on to their next clash with Costa Rica on the 22nd of April. Coming through this one unscathed, no injuries, no goals conceded. And they'll linger, I would think, today and take a look at the next opposition. See how Costa Rica go on against USA. These are the last rights of the first game in Group B. With walks pass forward. She'll get it again on halfway. Very much the fulcrum of the side in midfield. Canada perhaps run out of time to get a 4th goal. They bossed the proceedings without doubt. But the referee will soon put the whistle to her lips. Another 20 seconds maybe. Especially as Zachary Turner manages to scramble across. The ball was going wide anyway from Akindoju. So not an inspiring performance from Canada, more workmanlike than anything. But when you think of the chances they missed and the fact that they've hit the frame of the goal twice as well, it could have been far more emphatic. But as the referee raises her arms, we know that Canada have taken the first 3 points of Group B with a routine success against a gallant Bermudan side. The Canadians are celebrating, and the player they're rushing to is the 2-goal debutant Kayla Novak. She registered 2 of the 3 goals scored today. The first goal, a long-range strike from Jade Riviere, and it's 3-0 to the Canadians at the end of this day.
What's the first question?